Hello, 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 and welcome to Mobsters Players Revenge Tools and Tips, and I am Brutus. In this clip, we're going to be going over the Don tab. We love the Don tab, okay? This is where all your interactions with favor points and buying certain features for the game. Now, let's just start from the top here, going over what all this information is all about. Right here is telling us that you currently have 1,797 favor points. Okay, we can use favor points to buy missions. I'm sorry, blah. We use favor points to buy primarily equipment. Okay, now it's telling us here that we have that much. Let's go over some of these buttons here. This purchase extra top mob slots. This should become very, very critical in your game. You want to accumulate as many top mobs as you can for a lot of reasons. It helps boost up your mob. It helps boost up your income when you start to cash in. When you go into the My Mob tab, which that's for another clip. You want to definitely invest in top mob. So if you want to invest in top mob, go ahead and click here in the Don's tab, and then this little fancy box pops up, and then here you can choose how many top mob you want to purchase. I typically try to buy 100 at a time if I have the favor points. Okay, that is the best practice. If you have the 100 favor points, go ahead and get those 100 top mobs. Right? They will help you accumulate some good cash. Now, the reset skill points. This is something that's there. I think it was an afterthought as far as Pip was concerned, or whoever developed this particular component of the game, an afterthought. And then people started realizing that they were using their skill points wrong, and they wish that they could do it over again. So they came up with this feature to reset your favor points, and we'll get into the favor points when we get into the My Mobster tab. But you pay 100 favor points, and you can reset all of your skills. I'll show you where that's at real quickly. You can reset all of your skills, these right here, back to 0. I mean, I think you'll have a minimum of, I think it's 10 here, and I think there's 100 health. But anyway, it resets these. So if I pay that 100 favor points, these will go back to the default values. Okay, there will be 0, 0, 10, I believe, 100 here and 0 here. All right. Okay, let's go back to the Dawn tab. Now, that was resetting the skill points. Pay the favor points, click yes, and you get to go. This one here is another favorite of a lot of mobsters, especially the megas. A lot of them I like to call mega schmeggers because that's what they are, mega schmeggers. They're nothing but candy store accounts as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you got some megas that are what I call TDMs, top dog mobsters. These are individuals that know how to play the game. They know the ropes. They have good attitude. They interact well with other mobsters. They're not tardos. They're willing to help you. Things of that nature. You know, they're top dog mobsters. They're like not necessarily made men that make certain stats. You know, the highest stats. Because I've known some made men, that are tards, and that really sucks. But there are some out there. But a top dog mobster, and just keep that in mind. I'll be using that a lot, and when you interact with me or any of my material, you'll hear me or see me using that TDM, top dog mobster phrase. So here is where you get your mercs. They call it mercs, it's short for mercenaries. This has to do with becoming a mega. All right. This is what it costs to become mega. We'll get more into the intricacies of being mega in a different clip because there's a whole different strategy behind that. But in the event you want to, become mega, this is where you come and purchase your mercs. And I know that you're not stupid, and you can basically read for yourself, and you can get 100 mercs for 50, or you could get 100 mercs for 4 hours for 75 favor points. That kind of tells you, indirectly tells you something. That means that your mega time runs out So keep in mind that in order to keep your mega status, you got to constantly come back and keep buying time. So keep that in mind. All right, the next tab here is to change your name. For whatever reason you want to change your name, there's a strategy to that. Perhaps someone in BC, has been bullying you, or is a tartar, or he's constantly on you, and he recognizes you as Joe Schmo, and when he sees you come in BC, he starts to pounce on you, whatever this and that. So some people may want to change the name just for that, just to be incognito. So they come and pay 10 favor points, and you can change your name. I've done it a couple times, not necessarily to be because somebody was bullying me, but because I was being more stealthy and I was in recon mode, and I didn't want people to recognize me right off the bat by my name. I mean, there are ways, and we'll get into this in not necessarily in video clips, but in some of the text that you'll find on this guide that I'm working on with doing recons and things of that nature. These are things of top dog mobsters. These are some of the skills that they have in order to kind of find and identify other mobbies. Pretty cool, stealthy, cool stuff. This is a little bit more extra to the game. It's an added dimension to the game. It's a top dog mobsters thing. So be on the lookout for that guide. It'll have information on doing things like recon and things of that nature. Now, moving along here, we have the higher guns. They're very similar to the top mob. Only difference is higher guns do not bring you cash. Okay, all they do is actually boost your mob size. I don't recommend buying these. You can if you want to. I would, if you're gonna invest anything, you go ahead and invest in the top mob. And these are obviously a lot cheaper than these over here. But I don't recommend buying them, but you can if you want to, if your particular need requires it or needs it. You can buy higher guns here, and they basically, what they do is they boost your mob size. Okay, perhaps you're not getting enough people to accept your invites, or you need whatever, you may need 100 extra mobs in order to achieve a certain accomplish a certain achievement. So you may want to, for that particular reason, go ahead and buy the higher guns. Now, down over here, okay, this is a favorite spot for a lot of us, and this is where you buy favor points and tokens. And this actually costs cash, real cash, not mobster cash, but real dinero. All right. Now, you have different denominations here, from $5 all the way to $700, which would be nice if I had $700 to spend, but the return on that $700 is magnanimous. Okay. If I had the $700 and I like the game, I play the game, I'm doing this because I love the game. If I had it, I would certainly buy it if I had that kind of money to throw away, or to have fun with. Now, you have the different denominations. For each denomination, there's a different amount. There's different values. It has different values. In this case here, the $5 will give you 100 favor points and 5 platinum tokens. Remember, I told you about slots a little bit in the first video about the main page. You use tokens in slots. Okay, to spin the slots. Now, something to keep in mind here is you want to look at this little fine print up here, right? It says 20 times. I don't know what that is. Okay, 20 times the favor point deal if you buy these. So if you spend $5 instead of getting 100 favor points, you get 2,000. Pretty cool, right? And it also goes toward the number of tokens you get. So instead of getting 5, you'd get 100 for $5. Not a bad deal, to tell you the truth. Especially if you just first starting off and you don't have a lot of money, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you just want to test the waters and go with a small amount before you start going down the big bama jammas. It's up to you. Okay, here goes this. Just is kind of a sidebar here. This is another place where you can contact, not necessarily pimp, but whoever the admins are. You click here, and it'll take you to their Facebook page, and you can send them a message. All right. Now, there isn't very much more to speak about with respects to the Dawn tab. I do know that you will be visiting this for different reasons. And I would say when you come here to do something, be very wise about what you're doing, particularly when you're spending real cash. All right? Okay. That's your little spiel on the Dawn tab. My name is Brutus, Have a good one. MLR.